Hello there.
Hello.
Think
How are you?
Lab podcast number 20. I'm good. We both got spring haircuts.
I know I was looking a little wily.
You were. Geez, I needed a weed whacker.
You think, well, I don't know. I thought when my hair got cut, I had like a little pet on the floor. Could have named it. I'm very branded today.
I know, I see that.
I'm sitting in front of the Sotheby's wall. I'm having a Sotheby's coffee mug. I got a Sotheby's shirt on. I was a little snarky this weekend with somebody. I did a video and somebody said, "Are you with Sotheby's?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how can you tell?" I had a golf shirt on. That's my hat.
I saw your video with your hat on. Did you like the
That's
Derby?
that was the video. I didn't even get to see the Derby. I was busy. I was busy showing houses. It's a busy market, competitive market, especially in hot St. Paul neighborhoods like Mac Grove, Highland Park, Como. I wrote an offer on a property this weekend, and we were one of 13 offers. And I can tell you, we wrote double digits over the ask price, did not have an inspection, and still didn't get it. So, my advice unsolicited is if people are looking in those neighborhoods, it's like put up your dukes or look at properties that haven't sold in those neighborhoods for some reason, and maybe they just need a little TLC, and that might be your ticket in. Do the TLC.
Gotcha.
What are we talking about today, David? You always have such a great agenda.
Ready for rapid fire?
Yeah,
First
I'm
cassette you
ready.
ever bought.
First cassette I ever bought. How about the first record album I ever bought?
Okay.
Because I'm older than you.
No, you're
The
not.
first record I
Wait, how old are
ever,
you again? Oh
61.
yeah, you might even be reel to reel.
Never had a reel to reel, but I
Yeah,
remember one of my friends' dads did.
my dad did.
Okay, so he was a real audiophile. If you had a reel to reel, you were an audiophile.
Yeah.
But my very first album record that I bought was Elton John's Greatest Hits, Volume 2.
First CD. Oh, by the
Um,
way, I think mine was
I
Air
don't
Supply.
know. Air Supply. And the funniest thing about it is that I was like sixth grade. I was like 12 years old. And I bought this record from the record store at Signal Hills Mall in West St. Paul. So if anybody's watching and they remember Signal Hills Mall. And I didn't even have a proper turntable, like a proper turntable, like the weighted needle and everything. I had like my little, record player that was plastic, and I would like unsnap it and open it up and put the record on it. And I kept bringing it back. I brought it back to the record store three times because it wasn't working. And finally, the probably a teenager, he was like, "Kid, what are you playing this on?" And then when I told him, he started laughing. He's like, "No, it won't work on that." He goes, "That's like a toy."
That's funny.
That's why I would play my 45s. It
Uh,
even had I even had old like 78s. I could play a 78. It's kind of fun being old every now and then because
I know now records are back.
I they are. They are, they are, they are.
All right, last rapid fire. How many times have you gone over 100 miles an hour in a car
Driving?
or in a car, driving or passenger?
Okay, I don't think I ever have.
Zero.
Zero times.
Okay.
That scares me.
All
Mm-mm.
right.
No, I'm not into speed.
Well, that's good.
Nope.
All right. All right. Ready? So I wanted to ask you
Wait a
about
second. How many
what?
times have you gone over 100 miles an hour?
Oh, I don't know. Half dozen?
Once.
No.
Okay. Wow. Good for you.
Twice I was with a police officer. I was in the car with the police officer.
Okay.
That was probably my fastest.
Okay. All
So,
right.
yeah. All
Okay,
right.
let's jump into the meat and
All
potatoes.
right. Social media again, we've kind of talked about it a lot. I noticed
Yes.
this really interesting thing. So I follow probably 90% of my follows are social media, I'm sorry, are agents that are on other parts of the country. And occasionally, like I'll see a funny video. And then for the next 24 hours, I see it 8 times more. Then the next 24 hours, I see the same concept 30. And then it's 100. Then it's like 200.
Of the same person or other
No,
people?
of the same topic. Like if I was to play like the one that I was thinking of late was look at this great house I'm listing. If I were to play hide and seek, here's where I would hide. And they use that to kind of use the tour of the house. Or they do some type of dance meme, or they do some type of whatever. The idea being that whatever the social media post is, you see an agent in Las Vegas do the same theme then as you see it with the Kansas City agent, you see it in the Miami, the New York, the New Hampshire, the Washington.
Okay, what do you get from that?
Well, I don't know. That's my question. So I always try to do something more original. Like I don't feel like I copy a trend. But do you see, so we've talked about social media a lot. And I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're going to post a trend video, like say the hide and seek one, right? What are you gaining by copying content from another agent? Because are you trying to target market that buyer, that seller that maybe don't follow other agents? And so
I
you,
don't know. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is that maybe the algorithm is all hot to trot on this one specific meme, and people are sharing that one specific meme, and you jumped on the bandwagon and you saw those people. Um,
like
but
right now, for example, the big one is, everyone's doing that picture of the doll. Like, they're like Mattel doll, like,
oh yeah, but you know
the
what?
agent, the suit or whatever,
I don't know.
Starbucks, the for sale
I'm
sign.
I'm not really into putting, I mean, I really don't want to put my high school graduation picture out on social media. I mean, I did, like, to honor the 2025 graduates, put your high school graduation picture on there. Um, I don't know. But I'll tell you what something happened on social media to me this weekend that I thought was cool.
Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm all ears.
So, because I have been on social media for a period of time now, posting real estate information as well as other things, but I have rebranded myself as a realtor. I was on social media and I happened to open up my Facebook Messages app, and lo and behold, there was a message and it said, "Hi, Mike. My daughter is looking to buy a condo in Woodbury and is in need of an agent. So I thought of you right away."
How long ago was this? I feel like you've
La-
shared this part.
No, this was just last night at
Oh,
1:39 in the afternoon, last afternoon. I thought of you right away. Can you send me your phone number to pass on to her? And I said, sure, thank you. And thank you for thinking of me. And so there you go. Now, this person I know, this person I don't socialize with. This person is a person that grew up in my neighborhood when we were little kids. And had I not been posting anything on social media, I would not have gotten that message. So, I mean, number one, thank you for asking for my number. Thank you for sending it to your daughter. Will the daughter call me? I don't know. But
now what do you
I
do with
think
that info? So let's say Friday rolls around, you don't hear from it. Do you have it written down somewhere to call or not call, but to message back this guy and say, hey, I
it's
heard from your daughter?
if I don't hear anything by the end of the week, yeah, I will send her. another direct message messenger through Facebook and say, hey, just wanted you to know I have not heard from your daughter yet. That's not unusual. If you would like me to call her, please send me her number.
That's not my question. My question was, how do you remember or remind yourself to do that on Friday?
Well, it's in my phone and I'm going to be seeing it all week long.
Because
I
why? Because you're looking at your messenger?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I could right now put it in my calendar and say, if I have not heard from X person by noon on Friday, to I could put, in fact, I will. I'll just put a noon
Reason
on
I
Friday.
ask is I think, my role is a little bit different than yours sometimes in the sense that as the broker, I'm also doing training and working with newer agents. And I'm always trying to figure out how how to communicate to agents what they should or shouldn't be doing. And for me, I use two apparatuses. I have my notebook. See notebook. You're not even looking. Look at my
I am, I
notebook.
can see you.
What
I can
color is
see
it?
it.
What color is it? You didn't see
Blue.
it? No, it's black. You weren't watching.
Well, it looked
Liar.
blue to me. It
Liar.
looked navy.
And then I also have my clipboard, my to-do list. All of that then goes into my phone.
Okay, I got it. See that green thing? It
Yep,
says
good job.
call. It says
Yeah,
call and
just
noon. Call
wondering.
if
It's
daughter has
just,
not.
and if you don't want to reach out to them, send them my name. I'll reach out to them because I'll put it in my
But
notebook.
this is a dot. I mean, the woman or man that sent me that message is my age or a little bit
Right.
younger. So this person is obviously a grown adult. That person might have friends that are already realtors. So just because mom or dad say, "Hey, call this person," they're going to check me out online first. They're going to go on my YouTube channel, they're going to go on Instagram, they're going to see what is this person about. At least when they go on my Instagram, they're going to see, old Mr. Stanton, posting things about real estate and other things. And hopefully I will have a strong enough online presence that they were like, "Yeah, I can work with that guy."
See, part of the reason I was asking you is earlier this year you had talked about, didn't you get, I forget what it's called, that tablet where you can write on it?
I never did. I thought about it, but
Oh,
I
you didn't
didn't.
get it. Okay. I was just wondering if you were using that because, in some of my coaching calls that I have, we always talk about, and Keller Williams always said, if it's not in your calendar, it's not, what is it? If it's not in your calendar, it's not.
If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. So, but my question is like, how are agents working? So, like, for example, today, page one, page two, and I have a third of a page. So that's today. What is it? Noon. So just today, I filled up 2.5 pages. My phone's been ringing off the hook and signed a new buyer already today, working on an offer. And yeah, so, I'm just curious how that then gets to my to-do list. So this is my notes. Then I go to my to-do list to make sure stuff's in it. Then at the end of the day, I put it in my phone. That's how I operate.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then, my to-do list, I have a day for every day of the week. And so I will then make sure that my Friday to-do list in your case would be reach out social media to Bob or whatever, haven't
Mhm.
heard from daughter. I just don't want to forget something. It's so easy.
Right. It is
Yeah.
easy to forget something. And I have forgotten things, and it's embarrassing.
You know what's really interesting for me? I can I seldom, like less than probably one time a year, forget to call somebody.
Mhm.
But today, for example, I have a pre-sign that I'm going to at 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
Completely has been off of my radar multiple times.
Mhm.
It's so funny, like the in-person ones are the things like the 3 o'clock pre-sign at this title company in this city. It's the one that I stress out the most that I'm going to forget. It's not the I have a cold lead. I have this, I said I would call him at 10. Like I have to do a CMA today too. Um, my business partner, Randy's going to a listing tomorrow. And so I'm going to run the CMA for them. He's running around like a chicken right now looking at properties, as well. So I'm trying to help factor in, the data for him. So when he gets there on site, he is present with information and data, and we can help identify a price and a list price, a sale price, market price, and give the seller as much information as possible. So, have you mowed your
I like
grass yet?
yesterday.
I did Saturday.
And I also put down some pre-emergent, and I'm not gonna I used Fertilome weed killer spray, and I bought the concentrate, and I bought a little sprayer, and I went over to my daughter's place because she's been overrun by certain things, and I just went at it. So
Nice.
mhm.
So you didn't
It's
get your
about
hair cut, your hair fell out because you used poison.
I got my hair cut when I had to go down to Dallas, and I went to a barber shop, and
Well, that's right. I
it's
forgot you were in Dallas. All right.
yeah. But no, spring has sprung. The Orioles are back. The ducks are back. We have wood ducks in our backyard. It's like a little shire. We have
I don't
all,
know if I've seen an Oriole yet this
but the
year.
Orioles are back. They follow the leafing out of the trees. And now we have visible leaves on our trees. The Orioles have been here for about 5 days. And if you put out purple grape jelly or an orange, even nail it to a tree, you will get an Oriole.
How about a hummingbird? They're supposedly back. I haven't seen one of them.
We haven't seen one yet, but they usually come after the Orioles. But yeah, the red-throated hummingbird should be here very quickly. Ruby-throated hummingbird. Red ruby.
All I know is it's the only bird that can fly backwards.
It's so cool. I love those little guys. And that is the bird that they used to draw the three um flying um from it's from Sleeping Beauty.
Of what?
The little fairy godmothers from Sleeping Beauty, the
Oh, I
three
didn't know it.
if you look at them, they fly like hummingbirds, and
Oh,
that's
fun.
that. Yeah, okay.
All
Never
right.
mind. My brain
Um,
took an
that's all right. The last thing I had was I had print versus online.
for
Do you
what?
do a lot of printing? Do you do a lot of um when I get my photography back on a listing, I get high definition prints and I get
Mhm.
MLS quality prints.
Yep.
Do you do a lot of print right now?
I make brochures for my listing, yes. And based upon the price point of them, I go more or less grandiose. But for the most part, I do like a 4 page nice print that I get from Express Docs that I can just do from my system and my back office. I usually get like, 25 of them because I mean, you have 25 showings, you're probably going to sell the house. Sometimes I do one pagers, but yes, I do print and I do online both. I do both.
Do you check your MLS data on views of properties?
I do. I go into List Track, which is in MLS, but it's also part of my back office at my brokerage. And I always, always, always go into reverse prospecting and see which person has like put a heart there. There used to be the little flashlight for we kind of like it, but now it's a heart. And if I see a heart, I call the realtor and I'm like, you probably already know this, but if you didn't, I like it when I'm told you have a buyer that put a heart at this property and they're like, oh my gosh, who is this? And I give them the number and they usually can figure it out. And sometimes I've manufactured showings out of that, which have turned into offers.
The
Reverse
reason,
prospecting is important.
the reason I'm asking is I listed a house late Saturday, which I'm not a big fan of in Columbia Heights.
Mhm. Why aren't you a fan of listing Saturday late?
I think so many people worry about days on market, and I think that to come on a weekend, especially the weekend was so nice. I just
Mhm.
worry that I like to come on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, leading up to the weekend. but this made sense to do it, and we wanted to get an open house done. Anyways, I looked this morning, so there's no data usually within 24 hours of coming on, so there wasn't really any data yesterday. So I looked this morning, and there was 1,400 views of this house. So
Did you see
1,400
that on Zillow or did you see that on in
on the
MLS?
MLS. You can see how many emails are sent out that match that criteria.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
I, w-
pretty cool.
I was amazed at 1,400 that in definition that house um matched that many potential buyers that agents have set up to receive an email.
Yeah. What's the price point of this property?
300.
Okay, that's entry level in reality or a downsize, but there's a lot of people looking for those houses.
Yeah,
Did
no,
you
that's what I'm
did you
saying. I just
and did you have an open house on Sunday?
yes,
And was it widely attended?
not widely but attended.
Do you have an offer on this house already?
We do not.
Do you have sharks swimming around? Contemplating writing an offer?
Not that
How
we're
many
aware of.
how many showings do you have today?
Zero today.
How about the rest of the
But
week?
what was interesting was we actually had agents come with their clients during the open house.
Okay,
We've had
great.
more agents come through that than we actually have showing. So that worked out great.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
love going through open houses with my buyers.
yeah, so do
I
I.
did that several times this weekend, actually.
Hmm. All right. Well, that is it for my list today.
Really? I
Short
have
and simple.
I have, I have rapid fire for you.
I'm ready.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do.
When was the last time you put new content on it?
Last week,
What was it?
2 weeks ago, it was our listing in Moose Lake slash Barnum that we have an offer on. And then it was our podcast number 19 was on there.
Home of the largest agate in the bank.
What are we talking about?
Moose Lake, home of the largest Minnesota agate in the bank in Moose Lake. It's on display.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny little fact.
Thank you.
And were you in the video personally that you put on YouTube?
Not the one of the listing, but I was of the obviously the podcast.
Are you interested in being in your listing videos? Hi, my name is David Lilja with Think
Am I interested
Minnesota.
in that? I think if the video is really good, it probably speaks for itself without me doing it. And we typically use really good photographers. I've not done one like I'm talking about their professional videos, not that
Okay.
professional not that agents are often in professional videos, but I have not done like, hey, I'm Dave, I'm at my new listing at 123 Elm Street. I have not done one of those.
But some professional videos will mic you up and they'll let you be
That's what I'm saying. So I have
agent in
not
the
done
video.
that. No.
Okay.
No, the one
Okay.
that we just did was really interesting because with the lack of snow, we tried, I bet you 4 times to get this sucker photographed and listed.
Hmm.
It seemed like every single time we were scheduled, we got 7 inches of snow, or it was pouring rain, or it was like gray upon gray. So the footage of it was a really hard one. And what we tried to keep telling ourselves was if this would have been, spring of 24, spring of 23, we still had snow on the ground. Like we were ahead of the game, like we were trying to get a big jump. And it's such an odd year, I think, this year because Easter is so late, Memorial Day is early, Labor
Hmm.
Day is early. Like I feel like we have this really tight compression between Easter and Memorial Day.
We
Like
have a
Memorial
very
Day,
tight compression. I
yeah,
mean, remember,
Memorial Day's 2 weeks away today.
I know.
And then I think Labor Day is September 3rd. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, my son's out of school in 4 weeks. It just seems really early this year after it seemed to take forever to get to Easter.
Well, would you agree that the market right now is flying? There is no time to waste if you are looking for a property. And if you, I mean,
Yeah, but
it's
I don't
that's
know
what
if
I've
it's
seen.
different. I don't know if it's different than May of last year, though. But what I'm saying though is psychologically it feels different
Okay.
because Easter was so late.
Do you think the market right now is busy?
Yes, I do. And sellers are having, I think sellers are having a better realization of what the market is.
Do you think buyers have any leverage against sellers at the moment?
Absolutely.
Do you think they have leverage against the sellers?
Yep.
What is their biggest leverage?
Well, if the buyer is qualified, for me up north,
Mhm.
there is not. There's still multiple offers, but the multiple offers are really vague. Like it's not just price. It's not just I'll give you $1, I'll give you 11, I'll give you 12, I'll give you 13, I'll give you 13 and a half, I'll go to 13.75.
Mhm.
It's all different types of loans. It's all different types of contingencies. Like it's all across the board. I do feel like buyers have a little more leverage right now. I think there's a lot of buyers that when push comes to shove, decide that they don't want to buy. I think there's a lot of uncertainty that some buyers are feeling. I think that there is now your scenario goes out the window. You said you were in 13 offers, right? So that
Right
goes
now,
right out
like
the
some of the
window.
most popular neighborhoods in the St. Paul area, like Como, um, McAllister Groveland, Highland Park, Summit Hill, like you ask for an inspection, you're toast.
Yeah, but doesn't it? This goes back to I'm going to use the word rant because it was. You called me like 2 weeks ago ranting because an agent priced the house crazy low.
Yes, I'm going to rant about it again today.
But
It's
that's what I'm saying. If
insanity.
that house would have been marketed right at a price that you think, there wouldn't
Mhm.
have been that chaos. And I bet you a buyer would have been able to get a different price or a different inspection through.
Yeah, and the other thing is in St. Paul, the city of St. Paul has a TIsh, a Truth in Housing pre-inspection by a city inspector. They're not going to take the place of an inspection, but it's something, and it's marked hazardous, meets or exceeds um,
Now
safety.
I'm going to probably alienate any inspectors. I'd rather have a
Right.
Tish done than an inspector.
I don't disagree.
Well, I'm
I
losing you.
mean, and oh, you are?
You're starting to get
Are you there?
yeah, can you hear me? All right, I think we've lost Mike.
Oh, am I getting thready? I can hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah, damn it. For real?
Yeah. All right, go
All
ahead.
right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, keep going and then we'll see what happens.
No, I mean, I would rather have a Tish than an inspection sometimes because um they're all about health and safety. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So, but the other thing that I'm noticing in the older neighborhoods in St. Paul too is if a person already lives in that neighborhood and they're just upgrading to a larger home, they're much more comfortable living in an older home and understanding how they work, where a brand new buyer buying their first home in an older home, they're a little bit more weary. Does that make sense?
It does. We'll leave it at that. Let's pick up on this next week because I'm losing you.
All right. Ciao,
Peace.
ciao.